Hi, this is Sean Clark with the Horror Channel. I'm here with Adrienne Barbeau, star of Carnival and The Fog, Escape from New York, among other things. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great.
So you enjoying the convention here at Monster-Mania?
Yeah, they're fun. They're fascinating. First of all, just to see everybody, and then and this one we've got Nancy Loomis and Chuck Cyphers, so we catching up on old times.
So the Big Fog 25th year reunion, and they're also in the process of remaking the film right now. What is your thoughts on there being a remake of this classic film?
Seems a little soon, but I hope it's good. I'm interested to see it because I know that they didn't shoot in Northern California where we shot the original.
Yeah, Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, and I think that will obviously change it a lot, because for me, so much of the appeal of the original was the location. So it'll be interesting.
Now, Selma Blair is filling your shoes in this one. Are you familiar with her work at all?
I'm not. I probably shouldn't admit this on your channel, but I'm not a horror film. I don't go to see them. I'm not a genre audience, so I don't know her work.
Fair enough, fair enough. So let's talk a little bit about Carnival, one of my favorite shows that sadly was recently canceled. I mean, I see there's like internet campaigns trying to get it back. I mean, is there any hope for Carnival, or does it look like it's done?
I think it's done. You guys were wonderful. The horrorchannel.com was fantastic in their support, and but it really just came down to dollars and cents. The show is expensive to produce, and I think HBO felt that it had found its audience, and it was a good niche audience, but it hadn't crossed over the way The Sopranos or 6 Feet Under had, and that the numbers didn't merit spending the money.
Do you think there's a chance anybody else might try to pick it up, or
have you guys got the cash?
give us time?
Well, I know we'd all love to be back. I don't know that there's another cable station that can afford it, and I haven't heard anything. You know, it's all been wishful thinking, I think.
So tell me a little bit how you got started working with John. I mean, you've done so many films with him: Escape from New York, The Fog, Someone's Watching Me. Am I forgetting any?
I was actually the voice of the computer on The Thing.
Oh, you were?
Yes, yeah. I still get my $14.27 residuals every once in a while. John and I met when he called me in to offer me the role in Someone's Watching Me, which was originally called High Rise. I was doing Maud at the time, or maybe I had just finished. And I think he had seen me in Maud and was a fan. And so we did Someone's Watching Me together, and then he wrote the role in The Fog for me.
Now, you've done a lot of genre films. I mean, Creepshow and even other smaller films like The Coven and stuff. If you're not a fan of horror, how do you keep getting pulled into horror? Even Swamp Thing, I mean.
Well, they offer them to me, you know. I think because I was associated, well, first of all, because The Fog was actually my first feature. And then Escape, which I don't think of as a genre film. It's not a horror film, but, you know, maybe science fiction. So I did sort of a little mass of them in the early 80s. And because of my relationship with John, I think I probably just got typed, you know. And I love doing them. I just don't like going to see them.
And then, I mean, you've actually been tied to two very famous genre directors, as well as George Romero, working on Creepshow, Two Evil Eyes. How did you get?
Actually, I did Swamp Thing with Wes.
Wes! I can't believe I forgot that. That's true. Wes Craven as well. What's it like working with all these iconic directors of the genre?
Well, all three of them are just fantastic to work with. They're really just great. I'd work with any of them, anywhere, anytime. I was very fortunate in that, and also Mike Mendez, who did The Convent. I think we'll hear more from Mike. I thought Mike did a great job too.
Who would you say is your favorite of all of them?
That's hard. That's really hard. I loved working with George. I loved working with John. You know, all three. Wes and I, we had a harder time because Swamp Thing was just a difficult shoot. He was under budgeted, and the studio wasn't. We could have used more money, I think, and it was just hard being in the swamps. But all three of them, they're lovely guys, and more than that. I mean, it's not just the personality; they know what they're doing, and I put myself in their hands anytime.
Now, of all those films, do you have a personal favorite?
Well, I love the role in Creepshow because Billy's just so outrageous, and I hadn't up until that point, and I don't think I have since gotten a chance to play such an unmitigated bitch, and it was just so much fun, and scary because I showed up and said to George, I don't know if I can do this, and scary in that I really had to trust George because he wanted me to be big, and that's not what I was learning as an actor. I was so it was like, all right, I'm going to give him what he wants and hope that he knows what he's doing, because it was not my initial impetus, or the idea would not be to play that wild.
It seems to me that, like, a lot of directors, when they find certain actresses or actors, they find their what they think they do best, that they kind of reuse them in that type of role. I mean, he used you again in a similar role in Two Evil Eyes. You're sort of the hard person.
Well, I think the inclination for anyone in the business is that when you've worked with someone that you like working with and you trust them and know what you can get out of them, if it's a choice between that actor and someone new that you haven't, you probably are going to go with the known commodity. John hired me because John is attracted to a certain type of women's role, what he calls the Howard Hawks woman, and that's what he liked to write, and I think he saw in me the ability to play that. I don't know why, Wes. I don't know why they cast me in Swamp Thing, but I'm glad they did.
Back to Carnival for a second. I'm such a big fan of that show. Do you feel are you happy with the way the show ended? Or, I mean, where did you see it going? Where did you see your character going?
I was hoping that we would have more, that Ruthie would have even more abilities, psychic abilities or metaphysical powers, as the time went on, or just there were two discussions from Dan Knopf, I think, who created the show. One was if we had gone to a third season, we might have gone back about 5 years, or even more maybe to see the beginnings of the story. And the other was that he was going to jump ahead and see what was taking place maybe 3 years later. It was such a wonderful work experience that all of us were terribly disappointed, and we would have come back just to do anything. But
any ideas if anything's in the works for the DVD for season 2, or maybe some extras? Because season 1 was pretty bare as far as extras are concerned.
I would assume that the DVD will be out probably at Christmas, but that's just me, making a decision based on what they did last year. I haven't been approached about doing any extras, so I don't know.
Okay. So you're saying that you think that there had been mentioned that they might go back to the origin of Scudder and see how that all took place?
I think that Dan was probably not thinking linearly that we would have started the third season right where we left off, but I don't know.
But had that happened, would there have been a spot for you and some of the other characters?
Oh, I think so. I mean, Ruthie, certainly there was something going on. She was seeing dead people, and we could certainly use that in the show. Clea's role of Sophie, obviously, had powers that hadn't been explored. I don't know. What I think we've all hoped, and again, it's just a hope on the part of the cast, is that maybe someone will produce a 2-hour feature like X-Files and Star Trek and tie it up or continue it on. But
now, if that did happen, do you think there's a chance that they could get everybody back together for it?
Oh, I think so. We all, to a man, everyone loved doing the show and was really happy and proud to be involved with it.
Have you heard anything about the sequels coming up to like Creepshow? There's like a Creepshow 3 in the works.
I just heard that yesterday. Somebody mentioned it. I haven't heard anything. Is that true? Do we know that for a fact?
Unfortunately, it's true. I mean, it's very, very, very low budget from what we've seen and heard. But have you ever been a fan of any of the sequels of your films? I know there was a sequel to Swamp Thing. There was Escape from L.A. There was Creepshow 2. None of them seem to even come close to any of those originals. But have you ever seen the sequels?
I've never even seen Grease, and I was the original Rizzo on Broadway. So I tend not to, I haven't seen a sequel. I did not see the Swamp Thing sequel. I didn't see, there was a Creepshow too, right? I didn't see that. Nope.
Are you going to bother with the Fog remake?
I think I'll read the reviews first and look at the promos. I don't know. I might be curious about that one. We'll see.
Well, I appreciate your time. This is Sean Clark with the Horror Channel here with Adrienne Barbeau, and we'll see you later.